wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. LoRosa is here as well. And we got a special guest in the building.
Our guy, the legendary.
N.O.R.E. Welcome, N.O.R.E.
Hello. Make some noise. Come on, make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. I haven't been here in a minute. Oh, you looking for yourself? You right there.
Yeah, I'm over there. I'm over there. Okay.
You saw yourself?
I was like, damn it.
Right under Joey Crack.
They done replaced me?
Nah, you right there, right there.
Got Issa Rae. That's right.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
I got to ask you a question before we start the interview, right? My daughters have dads, and this weekend I had to drive 3 hours. So when they sleep and everybody sleep in the back, that's when I listen to my music. So I turn on the Firm album, right? And I'm
best record on the Firm.
And then your record comes on. I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, how the hell did N.O.R.E. get a record on the Firm album by himself? Make it make sense. I was like, I never asked N.O.R.E. that.
Well, a lot of people don't know. Nas was on our War Report, the first album, and he was on a record called "Music Make This Thugs Calm Down."
Music makes the thugs calm down.
For whatever reason, we couldn't clear it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have money back then. You know what I'm saying?
It was on a mixtape, though.
Yeah,
but
that
didn't count. You needed it on the album. You know what I'm saying? So Nas wanted to pay me back, and I was in that like little purgatory like in hip hop at the time, and now I was like, yo, I want to put you on the Firm album. This was before like they kind of even announced it. So he was like, yo, I'm going to Miami. I'm gonna meet you in my you go meet us in Miami, and whatever Instagram was back then. Them niggas was in Miami, they ain't bring me. And I was like, oh. And then a month later, he called me and was like, yo, meet me in L.A. And we went to L.A. and I recorded I'm Leaving. I'm Leaving was originally on Capone Noriega's War Report album. And Trash shut it down. Trash was like, that's whack.
That was a single.
Trash thought it was I'm Leaving was whack?
That was a single.
I'm Leaving was whack. That's my man.
Yeah.
But he thought it was whack. And so we never used it, and when I got to the studio, I believe Dr. Dre was the engineer, and he was like, you got something? And that's why to this day I always, show Nature love, is because that was Nature's session. That wasn't my session when I recorded I'm Leaving. So I went in, and Dr. Dre was like, I said that to Dr. Dre recently, and he was like, you got something? Because he called me Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
And I ain't correct him. I ain't correct, it's Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming up from Left Rack City, I'm in L.A., so I'm like, yo, I didn't correct him. So that's why, if you notice, I started the verse off. N.O.R.E. know this. N.O.R.E. know that. You're going to remember my name, Dre.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to remember my name, Dre. And he laughed at that recently. We interviewed him in Vegas. But, yeah, that's how that happened. So, like, Nas. And that record and Big Pun record really set off my solo career. I used to rhyme in Envy's basement. You know what I'm saying? But I still wasn't a solo artist. I was Capone Noriega.
Right.
Even though I was going there solo. But that's what set off my career. So
and why wasn't it a single? Because it's one of the
Steve was
records.
hating, man. Come on, of course. nah, just playing. You know what is crazy? Like me and Nas spoke about this recently. That was one of the hottest street records there was. Like, and I wasn't smart enough to like go out there and do my own video. But I did. I did take the accolades. The accolades that came with it. It changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Like being on a Firm project that was Nas, Foxy, AZ, and I called Mega, All Nature, whichever one you want to pick at the time. But that was the hottest group in the world. For me to have a record on that album, it set off my whole career.
I got one more question.
Let's go.
Like I said, I was riding.
Have a lot of questions. I flew up here for this.
I'm getting these already. So then I turn it off, and then I turn on your first album. Right now I'm rocking, and Banned from TV comes on. Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, the original version had Cormega on it.
Nah,
it never had Cormega. So why was Cormega not on it and Nature on it? Because at the first, Cormega's was with.
Well, me and Mega's always been cool. And me and Mega are still cool to this day. But what happened was, like I told you, I invaded Nature's session because this is back then. I know you guys probably do the coupon deals now, like with the flights. But back in the days, I flew out on a Tuesday. I had to be there on a Friday, but
Tuesday was cheaper.
Tuesday was cheaper.
I remember.
So I had flew out that Tuesday. And I had recorded that Wednesday, but that was Nature's session. So I wanted to repay him back. So I told him to come to Electric Lady. And Nature took about 10 hours picking beats. He was like very, 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 very particular. And he was actually getting on my nerves. Sorry, Nature. But he was actually getting on my nerves. And then Swiss changed the beat to one beat. And Nature he wrote the whole rhyme right then and there. and I felt like that was my payback. And then Pun came, and Fat Joe says he's a glizzy king.
Pause.
Pun was a glizzy. I don't even know. What's bigger than king?
You gotta say hot dog. Let's say hot dog.
No. We're gonna say glizzy,
This
man.
generation
We're gonna
don't
listen.
get-
This
this
is
generation be like,
hot
what does that
dog.
mean?
So he went to Gray's Papaya because I don't know if you ever remember Electric Lady. It was the studio, Jimi Hendrix studio, and he got a cat in there. So Big Pun saw my car. I was the only one with the GS. 430, brand new. I had two of them. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Envy knows that.
Yes.
Queens get the money for real. And Pun see my car out, and then he was like, "Yo, you at Electric Lady?" And he went in, and he just laid the verse. I never asked Pun to get on the record. I actually told the engineer to erase it in front of Pun's face. I was like, because that was my friend, and he just jumped on my record, and I was just like you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to ask permission, and then Cam. Then Cam called me, and Cam happened to be in the city, and Cam came. So that all banned from TV happened in real life. This is not like
They just happen to call.
this is not sending the record. If you could pay attention to how people make music now, they send the record so you don't feel. I don't get to smell your Izzy Miyake. I don't get to see what watch you got on. I don't get to feel the feeling that you was in when I'm making my Euphoria to collab with that. That's why records were better in the 90s. We had to be in the studio with Busta Rhymes. You had to be in the studio with Fat Joe. You had to be in the studio with Jadakiss. So that's how Banned from TV happened. It happened in real time. Only people that we didn't get that day was the Locks. And I remember my first time meeting Styles P and Jadakiss. I hated Styles P.
Wow.
He took my weed and didn't share it with me.
What you mean?
He asked me for weed. I was like, yeah. But it was natural back then. Puff, puff, fast.
I remember this story.
Motherfucker. By the way, I'll give Styles P the keys to my house right now, so just so you know. But that's how he was back in the days. He was just very aggressive,
ignorant and negative.
Like
His
vegan.
word, that was his words.
Yes, veganness saved his life. I can see the difference.
Right.
Like I can see the person. But he was yeah. So that session was legendary too. Like, you know what I mean? Meeting them and
You never
It was
asked
never
him to
supposed to
cut?
be a posse cut?
I didn't know what it was supposed to be. To tell you the truth, it was really meant to show Nature love. You know what I'm saying? Because Nature had just did that for me, and I wanted to do that. And at the time, I know this sounds funny right now, but no one knew who the guy who made the beat. He was called D's nephew.
Yeah.
You know who he is now?
Swiss Beats, of course.
Swiss motherfucking
Of course.
Beats.
Yeah, of
like
course.
I was the first one to work with Swiss Beats outside of Rough Riders. This is facts. You know what I mean? You could look at when I spoke to LL the other day. LL said to me that I brung him Pharrell and he just couldn't get it. Like I have the foresight to see shit. Like when I did podcasts, people were like, "Yo, this guy must be broke." Now everybody got a podcast.
Now hold on now, because Memphis Bleak said he was the first person out of DMX and Jay to
Bleak
work
gotta
with
relax.
Swiss.
Bleak gotta
I heard
relax.
him say that on the new episode this
Bleak
week.
gotta
That's
relax.
on the Black Effect Drink Champs.
He can say whatever he wants.
But I heard him say that he was the first person to work with Swiss outside of DMX and Jay-Z.
No, I mean, God bless Bleak, but mine's is facts. That's my brother. That's my brother. But I mean, this is documented. It's Banned from TV is documented. It's the first hit outside of Rough Riders. Now he might have did work with him, but I'm not sure if it's a certified hit. You know what I'm saying? Banned from TV is a certified hit. Like I know people who ice grill me in the club when Banned from TV is on. They don't even know it's me.
It was the
I be
Memphis Bleak
looking.
his record. Memphis Bleak.
Okay,
Memphis Bleak,
yeah. That's the same time though.
Yeah,
That's the same time. I'll give it to Bleak. Word. And big up to Bleak. We
You
know.
was on that album too.
Yeah,
What you
I got
niggas
that
wanna
plaque.
hate for?
I got that plaque. I got a lot of plaques. Yes. Bleak. We got Bleak. We got Drink Champs Network through Black Effect, iHeart. Dope thing. We got Angela Simmons. Also, we just wrapping hers up. We got Run Champs. Something I'm very passionate about. Everybody that's here, they might look like hoodlums. They're not. You know what I mean? These are people that I run with. We are passionate. They wake up in the morning with me 4:30 in the morning. I seen DJ Khaled and I see how happy he was playing golf. And Khaled came up to me and said, "Yo, you're an inspiration to me." And I was just like, how the fuck can I be an inspiration to you? I'm sorry. That's why y'all.
It's all good.
That's why y'all don't get me live. I understand.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, I understand. So and I realized, I needed a hobby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've actually, and this is my hobby now. Like, so I go places. I've been to Hawaii to run. I've been to Puerto Rico to run. I'm going all over the place, and I'm officially joining the NYC marathon.
You're doing the marathon.
Yeah,
Wow.
the marathon. Yes. So
That's what, 26.2?
26.2 miles, not kilometers.
No, miles,
we
yes, of
American.
course, yes.
We're going to get rid of the kilometers. I don't like the 5Ks, the 6Ks, the 10K. We are not in Dusseldorf. We are in America. We're going to turn to this miles. Okay, so we're 26.2 miles. Yes. Am I scared to death? Yes.
How do you, I always wonder this when I watch your episodes, how do you drink the full episode, all these episodes back to back, and then you do things like you running and all that too?
You still drink?
Of course I do. Yeah. But I'm drinking St. Regis water right now. But what you said, the question is, how do I do it?
Yeah.
I believe it's all mental. I believe like all this shit. And right now, like I'm more conscious. Like, you know, a person that I look up to is RZA. And RZA, you know, he drinks sake, right? He drinks a certain type of sake that gets you up. So that's where I switch to. I switch to sake. It gives you no hangover. I wake up in the morning and I could go out because right now it's like, you know, I've lived this life where, you know, it's a different type of lifestyle. But now I fell in love with this. I fell in love with something that don't pay me. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, everything in life is about money. And then when you find that one thing, so the New York City Marathon is probably my biggest goal that I'm ever like, you know, and nothing can make me better but me.
You know what's crazy though? I can never remember a time you don't be running. Like that's your thing. Like
For a long time.
I know N.O.R.E up in the morning, and he jogging.
Yeah, you should post the videos on your Instagram too.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like
he texts us all the time.
I thought you was at the puff case. Like I ain't gonna lie.
I'm supposed to be on my way.
What did I tell y'all? I said I get my information from you. Like everything I know about the puff case, I get it from you. So
everything I know about a lot of the hip hop stories, I get it from you.
Okay,
guys,
got that.
I sit and watch her religiously trying to know all these things.
Yes.
You back rapping? N.O.R.E sent me a record the other day.
Yes,
right?
I did.
I didn't listen to it yet. Cause I was like, and then what's the first thing he said? I'm gonna send you a record. I said, you back rapping?
You know what? I'm rapping on my time. You know what I'm saying? One of the worst feelings I ever did was, you know, getting a whole bunch of money for Melvin Flint, the Hustler album, and then having to make it after, you know, Pun passed away and my father passed away. My mind wasn't there, but I got all this money, right? So I had to like deliver. So I always regretted that. So there's people who love the Melvin Flint album. That people like every day I'm going through the airport and somebody's like, why would you say that about Melvin Flint? And you know, whatever. I want to make music on my time. Like I got to see Meek the other day, not in person, but on the internet, and he was like, I finally own 100% of my catalog. And a lot of people don't understand. Like he was crying out, like he was venting, and I now own 100% of everything I do.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But at certain points, like, so I wanna. I know this is gonna sound crazy, especially you had Dame Dash up here, speaking the opposite. But sometimes I want to work for somebody. Being a boss is hard, bro.
But ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what we were saying. You could have multiple jobs and multiple things. Ain't nothing wrong.
I love
being a quote-unquote employee.
I love working for Love and Hip Hop. I just didn't give them the throwing a candle and throwing drinks in the face. I ain't giving no drama, so they ain't rehire me. But I love that. If I don't show up for work, then sometimes work don't happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like being the pitcher and the catcher.
So you gonna do an album or is it just release singles when you want?
I'm gonna pay attention to the algorithms.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like right now, an artist could come to Drink Champs, right? Let's suppose Lil Wayne came to Drink Champs. I could actually see his algorithms and I could tell him where he could go on tour. I could be like, stop going to Milwaukee, bro. You got 2 fans in Milwaukee.
That's right.
Why are you even there? Go to Seattle. Go to Utah. Go to Phoenix. Like I can look at the algorithms. I can see exactly like this is the time where we should take advantage of having this information. You know what I'm saying? Now we know. Now, remember back in the days you used to go on tour? I'm sorry to sound like the old guy. But you know when back in the days you go on tour, you used to go to Delaware when your fans are in Philly.
Right.
Big up to Delaware, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Big up to Delaware, but
Y'all actually used to go to Delaware?
Yes.
Delaware's the shit.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
It is. But that was my preference.
Yeah, but they love you there.
Yes,
though.
that was my preference. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes during the algorithms, you say, okay, you know what? After Delaware, you gotta go to Baltimore, skip Virginia, or you know what I mean? But right now, you can actually see the algorithms, and I think this is the cheat code. I think it's the cheat code for everybody, because I did it for artists recently, and I was just like, yo, I don't think you should go here. You don't have no movement there. And I think that artists should take advantage of that.
I think a few years ago you had a hit record, that joint with Pharrell.
Oh, well, you know it's crazy.
That shit was hard.
I'm going to see Pharrell in Paris. I don't even know what me and Pharrell have nothing in common but music. And that says how dope music is, though.
Right.
Just think about it. Like we like.
If I think of all Pharrell rap friends, though, to me they don't have nothing in common. Like what do you have in common with the Clips outside of being from Virginia?
No, they got shit in common. They dress, they wear bell bottoms together. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, they you know what I'm saying? Like
bell bottoms together.
Yeah, they camaraderie. Me and Pharrell have a beautiful, like when we get together, we talk straight music, and I love that. At first I thought it was awkward, but the elder I get, I was like, yo, you know what? That is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dope. And like I don't get none of this Louis Vuitton shit for free, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to work my angle. I want to meet Bernard Aldo. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that, but I'm gonna go out there and fuck with him in Paris. He got a whole different sound, and when he makes a different sound, I usually go out there, and I'm a part of that new wave of sound.
So you're gonna record some more music?
Yeah, I am. I like Paris anyway.
Okay.
I like Champs-Élysées.
What is that?
It's like the Manhattan.
Okay,
it's just the Manhattan. It's just a fancy way of saying Manhattan of Paris.
Let's do a Q&A like you do on Drink Champs.
Let's go. I'm in.
Quick time, right? Nas or Jim Jones?
I mean, let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this accurately. I see where Jim Jones is coming from. Like, I can see him, because if you're looking at the algorithms now, I can see where he's coming from. But you can't take the legendary status that what Illmatic has done. Just Illmatic. Illmatic itself has birthed Mobb Deep, has birthed Capone and Noriega, has birthed so many other people. Like, just that album. And you can't, and that time was the tougher time for you to be noticed. So that's the reason why. But I understand where Jim is coming from. I understand his stance.
What part do you understand?
That the kids know him now.
I'm
you
gonna
know
tell
what
you
I'm saying?
something. I'm gonna tell you something. I looked it up. Like I looked it up to see like who gets searched more in 2025. It's still Nas. I'll give you the numbers right now. And this is based off Google. Hold on. I was just looking at this shit the other day. And it's still Nas by a long shot.
It's hard to beat Nas.
Okay, streaming-wise, Nas has about 9.1 million monthly Spotify listeners, while Jim Jones clocks in around 875,000. And I fuck with Jim music.
But that's dope for Jim.
And this is the Google searches.
Yeah.
This is the Google-based searches. Nas gets between 200 and 300,000 searches a month globally. Jim Jones gets 40 to 70,000 searches globally.
I'm going to be honest with you. All right, we all know that Nas wins, but listen, the fact that we're even having this conversation, that's a win for Jim Jones.
I mean, that's what I was saying.
That's
Jim,
a win.
Jim knows what he's doing.
Let me just tell you something. I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan, right? I'm talking about, I think he's better than Muhammad Ali, right? This is me, right? I get argued, people. But whenever Floyd fights somebody that night, they're on the same level as Floyd. So that's the reason why I hate when Floyd takes these exhibition fights, because I'm sitting there as a fan. I don't want Jake Paul to touch my favorite fighter. Like I don't want him to have a lucky shot.
But you know at Floyd Mayweather, how do you turn down 30, 40 million for exhibition?
I don't know how to turn down 30, 40 million,
saying?
but I know how to turn. But so my point of trying to say is, by us even comparing it, that's a win for Jim Jones. Like I seen Jim Jones in the beginning. Like I got footage of Jim Jones and Cameron. I was filming a pre to Drink Champs. I have a documentary called What. I still have all the footage. Yep. And Jim Jones was out. It's on the internet. You could Google this. It's called What Trailer. And Jim Jones is out in Cam, and you're sitting there, and Jim Jones is like, I don't even spend money on weed. You know what I mean? I buy 5 nickels with a $20. And you look at that person to the person that he is now. This man won, man.
Nah,
this man won. And I'm talking about, you got to take him serious. Like he was a hype man, a person that was backing to where he is now. I think that's an accomplishment. I think that's what we should be celebrating. I hate in our culture that we have to compare. Like me personally, I don't do that on QuickTime with Slime no more, but I was forced to take out Nicki Minaj and Cardi B because people, I'm talking about the fans were complaining, not their camps. Their camps were too, but the fans were like, "Yo, it's in."
You can like both of them.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, I like both of them. Like I am a Kendrick Lamar fan.
But even if you like both of them, you can have a preference.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but right now, you feel like if you play Kendrick Lamar, you gotta throw away your Drake CD. That's messed up.
I never been a Drake fan like that.
No, we know y'all got a funny relationship. We know that. We know that.
But you should be able to listen to both, right? Like when I'm in the club, I listen to Drake. But if I'm in the car, I can listen to Kendrick. That doesn't mean I like one more than the other.
I listen to Drake in the car, and I like Kendrick in the club. But go ahead.
But you can listen to whatever you want.
Yeah.
But you can still like both of them.
Yeah, I like both of them. Like I don't. Like
But you got
How do you?
preferences.
preferences in what?
Like if I give you two people, there's somebody you probably like more.
Yes, of course,
Yeah,
of course. But I do like both. Like you know what I'm saying. Like yes, I like pistachio more than I like vanilla.
Exactly.
But guess what? If you give me a vanilla ice cream and nobody looking, I'm gonna eat that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not gonna complain.
But let me ask you another quick slide.
Go ahead, let's go.
Diddy, guilty or not guilty?
God damn.
You know what? I'm gonna leave
Quick
that in
time
the
slide.
air. You know what I mean? I could tell you this. I gotta tell you from my experience,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
You know, me and you know each other 27 years. There's people who could say, "Man, I don't fuck with Envy," right? I can't say that to them. You know what I'm saying? Me and Envy have a separate relationship. All I can say is when I've ever been around, and I've been around quite some time. You know, I'm married. Been married 16 years, so maybe I was never really around that, but I've never saw it. You know, I've never saw this monster that they describe. When I hear the testimony, because I got ears and I got Q-tips, so I hear it. Some of this shit I'll be like, whoa, and then some of it I'm like, nah, but I don't know.
But you've seen the freaky first hand.
No, I've never seen. I've really.
See, just I
we
thought you
see
went in
the
like that.
interview every day, N.O.R.E.
What you say?
Oh, your
The interview
Champs
goes viral every day.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
your
ready?
interview, yeah.
When you look back at that, when you look back at that clip, do you be like, huh?
We saw the freaky
All right,
first
you
hand.
ready? You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. All right, y'all ready for this?
Yes.
I've been waiting to say this story.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Let's party.
Oh
Let's
God,
go.
I feel like I'm back at court. It's a witness testimony.
Okay.
You want us to play it to refresh your memory?
No, I'm very refreshed. I see it every time it goes viral and I'm tagged. Yes, I look at it too and I watch the whole shit too. So, all right, here's what happened. Fab and Jada. Fab's first freestyle you ever heard Fab is with me.
Yep.
Like, so I basically put Fab on, like, in a good way. I'm playing around. I always say that to him. It's a joke. But it's not, actually. Like, if I was the hottest dude in New York at that time. Clue asked me, can I have my dude Sport come up? And I was like, Sport? He was like, Sport. And I was like, that's a dope name. Sport? His name is Fabulous Sport. Am I lying? So we did. So what I'm saying is, me and Fab have a great relationship. Me and Jada has a great relationship. Drink Champs, we're hot at the time. We got a budget to fly around. We're using the Revolt budget. Big up to Revolt. Everybody there. Thank y'all for holding us down. So they're in L.A. We fly to L.A.
That was L.A.
It was in L.A.
Okay.
That wasn't our studio. EFN misses his flight off. I forget what happens. Boom. Jada Kiss and them are on their promo run. I, like the creative person that I thought I was being, I messed up. But I thought I was being creative. I hit Puff. And I was like, yo, they're doing a whole press run.
That was for the Fab and
Fab
Kiss
and
album.
Kiss album.
Yep.
They're doing a whole press run. What can make ours different? You come to the show. So he's like, all right, cool. It's Groovy Lou's birthday. We're going to go celebrate with y'all. Boom. Now, that part, you forget. That's why the candles was there.
Right.
It was Groovy Lou's birthday, who is a Rastafarian. The furthest thing from anything
Groovy.
flagrant.
Yep.
Right? Fab, Jada Kiss, and Diddy arrive at the same time. Remember, Diddy's a surprise. So my friend Mr. Lee, who's Dominican, what's his slang? Daddy. Yo, Daddy. Yo, Daddy. That's how you talk in Dominicans because they don't want to say Papi. Papi is a Puerto Rican thing. You understand what I'm saying? So he sees Diddy. He's like, yo, Daddy, you got to put you over here, Daddy, because we got, and we don't want them to see it. So Diddy got that in his head now. Daddy. Now he just keying Daddy. He think that's what we saying. No, that's not what we're saying. It's just what Mr. Lee is saying. That's it. That's it. So we walk over and he goes, yo, what's up, Daddy? Fucks the interview up immediately. Yes, it does. All right, cool. Puts us in but here's what y'all don't know. when he's saying to Fabulous, yo, why don't you party with me no more? Look at us in front of Fabulous. That's not Ciroc. Fabulous had a whole Coco Loso with Diddy. So when I'm inviting Diddy to co-host, he has a whole nother thing. He's coming at Fab. Why you not drinking Ciroc no more?
Right.
That's what he's saying. Why we don't party no more? And look, he's pointing at it. He's like, and Fab, if you look, Fab is almost trying to throw the vodka away because he's like, and he had a deal. So that's really what that was about. Like that's what, and the daddy part came from Mr. Lee, and.
Hold on, N.O.R.E.
No,
there was more to that.
Let's go. I'm in.
He said, "I like it.
When you scramble,
like that, Daddy. When you scrambling and scraping like that."
So where did that part come from?
No Dominicans was saying scrambling and scraping.
Hey, that part, I can't. I don't know, Daddy. I don't know. I was thrown off too. And you know what's the crazy thing about it? I was sitting on the editing floor.
He was like, "Keep all that in."
I was like, "Fuck it."
It's hilarious.
I was like, fuck. You know what I really wish I would have edited was the Kanye. Now, that we didn't edit nothing.
Oh, we know.
Until then. But Kanye's was very weird. Like, because I had never got secondhand
embarrassment?
hate. Secondhand hate.
Yeah,
I got secondhand hate. Word. So but that's that story.
Yeah, I mean the Diddy thing is interesting. Like I don't know whether he's guilty or not, but that interview was classic before that.
Yeah, it's classic.
Before any of this shit took off.
Absolutely.
I played it for him when he was hit.
Remember?
I saw that. Yes, I saw that. I mean, that's been a dope thing about Drink Champs. Is like I get to make mistakes in front the fans live, like in real time, and they ride with me. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. I love the hate though too.
Yeah.
I love balance because I've lived my whole career where people had my back, and just to see like it's a balance to this shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm with it because but that's why I enjoy doing what we doing with Run Champs. It's like it's all positivity. Like this is the only time I can post something.
Right.
But somebody will always say something. You running slow.
Yeah. The Kanye shit was interesting too though, because it's like you're not responsible for what comes out of Kanye's mouth.
Correct.
You're a platform. You're a host.
Yeah,
like,
but I felt responsible. You know why? When I found out that George Floyd peoples didn't like it, I felt responsible because, and by the way, God bless me, I've never said this before, but there's parts that we edited it. Like there is actually parts that we did edit. Like he compared, I'll say it. He compared George Floyd to Martin Luther King. And he was like, what's the difference between George Floyd and Martin Luther King? And we were all like, we've been at that time, so we thrown off like, what? And he was like, Martin Luther King had bitches. And we were like, oh, shit. We knew that had to be edited right there. Like, we were like, oh, no. And so we were paying attention to the parts that we weren't paying attention to everything. Like, you know what I mean? So, and he had got me. He had called me. I don't want to, like blame it all on him because that's, it was a collective. Right. It was just, I just didn't know I didn't know how to edit at that time.
Have y'all smoked since?
We spoke. Since then, we spoke like 5-6 times. Then it disappeared, and so did he. I have not spoken to him. So I'm gonna do a documentary, my 2 years with Kanye, because I had 2 years of just like I thought he was listening to me at one point. He was asking me marital advice, and I felt obligated. I was going downstairs. I was walking away from my wife because I didn't even want her to know that I was giving wife advice and marital advice. And then he would listen to me, and then he'd just tweet away right after. And I'm like,
he shitted on you too a little bit.
No, he ain't shit on me. I never took it like that.
I think after you apologized, he was like,
no, he said N.O.R.E's a good guy. That I didn't, because I to tell you the truth, I understood media, but I only understood the good side of media at that time. When I come to the Breakfast Club and I go to Canada, people would be like, "Yo, Breakfast Club!" Like it's positive. You know what I'm saying? So this was my turn of saying, you know what? It ain't all guts and glory. Like sometimes you got to go outside and take the gum under the table, and then put the gum under the table in your mouth. and motherfuckers. Nah, maybe
What
that
are you
wasn't right.
talking about?
Maybe that wasn't right. Maybe that wasn't right. You can edit that part. That part. No.
That was a lie. Like,
But you know what I'm trying to say.
there's COVID out there.
Sometimes you gotta
Diseases,
stuff. Sometimes you gotta scuff your Timbs,
Yeah, I
even
get
if they
what you're saying.
Louis Timbs.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And that's pretty
I
much
ain't
what it
scuffing my
is.
Louis Tim.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
N.O.R.E?
So what's your edit process like now after that? Because it was lawsuits and everything his way after that.
Oh,
Lost his whole shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Adidas deal done after that.
You know what was crazy? I want to big up to unlikely people who called me during that time. Like Shaq called me, and you know Shaq, he's mad calm when he talks. You all right? I was like, yeah. He's like, if you need anything, I got you. And I was like, damn, you know,
Shaq a good dude.
even
Shaq
if
a
he
good
was
brother.
even if he was fronting, that shit made me feel good. Pharrell called me, and then Ye called me, and I was like, yo, Ye, man, I feel like I'm about to lose everything. And he was like, interesting.
That's what he said.
That's all he said, bro. And that's pretty much it. So we had to shake it off. And another part of that was my Jewish friends. You know, I had rabbis coming at me like, hey, man, I want to come on the show. So you and I was just like, I don't know if I should go that far, but it was just crazy. It was just crazy. And then he doubled down on it. Like, attention is crazy. So he doubled down on it, and I don't know. But if he called back, I think I'll accept him.
Yeah.
On Drink Champs again. I'll just be more responsible, and I won't drink Habiki. Yeah.
What business wise for Drink Champs? Because I know you got the network now.
Yeah.
I remember it was an early episode where you were talking about how you learned that the audio and the video could be sold separately, right?
Yeah.
Now with the network, you're doing that for other people. So business wise, like where does N.O.R.E stand as a businessman, giving people advice on things like that?
Well, absolutely. That was something that I noticed immediately. God bless the dead, Combat Jack.
Rest in peace, Jack. Combat Jack.
Combat Jack. I was noticing when I first, because they were doing podcasts, but I don't think they were calling it podcasts,
No,
right? They were calling it podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people give Cypher Sounds in Rosenberg, and they were the official, I believe, hip hop's first podcast. But I was noticing when I was looking at certain people, like they would throw out episodes, and the episodes would be on what was that network? SoundCloud or whatever. The audio would be there, but then the YouTube would be a kid that ripped the audio and just put it up there. But it would be the kids' YouTube.
Yep.
But it's their episode. So I would sit back and I would be like, why are they allowing that to do it?
That's happened to the Breakfast Club for years.
I didn't know that. I knew that happened to us for 2 weeks, and I shut that shit down.
How long was that for us, Charlamagne?
Well, it was different because we was always putting video up.
Right.
But they would rip the video and like it would go, be World Star.
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
I didn't mind because it was like promo.
Yeah, it's promo. Yeah.
But they would definitely do it just on YouTube. There was somebody making a bunch of money
Bunch
on
of money
video.
for years, a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I noticed that. And then it was like anything subscription based. I got resource room, but anything subscription based is not in competition with linear. It's not in competition with television, and it's not in competition with YouTube. So I made a genius deal a couple years ago. A lot of people didn't like it, but I had Mass Appeal, which is Nas label handling the audio. I had Tidal, which is Jay-Z's, on a subscription level, and then I had Revolt on a television level. And everyone thought I was doing some funny shit. This was legit. This was legit. I mean, they didn't want to share with each other. It was, I made them go to Black Excellence. No. You say Black Excellence. We're gonna live this shit out. And we did it. It was a great time. You know what I mean? So I feel like
You're still doing it now.
Yeah, I mean,
Black Effect is audio.
That's right. That's right.
The video was with. It was with Revolt. It's not with Revolt.
Yes, with
It's
Revolt.
with
Yeah. Big up everybody at Revolt, man. Revolt took a hit, when Diddy stepped down, and they didn't miss a beat, man. They stepped up. All of the people, they stepped up. I see they got a deal with Cam. Big that up. I've been telling Cam to come over here for a minute. And so I'm glad. And they got Brandon Marshall, a sports show. They're really trying to compete with the elite network. So I got their back. You know what I mean? And so I'm with Revolt. I love it.
Why did a woman get mad at you for ordering a whole bottle of wine?
Oh, you want to talk about that? No. Well, I got the 911 call. I should play this shit, right? She called the police on me. Well, we were sitting in Houston's.
In Miami, right?
In Miami,
Yep.
and it got busy. You know, I've never had these since I had the braids. I know Envy hating because he can't grow hair.
I definitely could grow hair. You remember that man over there hating?
I could. It was just my braids would be in the middle of my.
Let's start back in.
Well, so I believe she was trying to flip the table, and you know, I go to Houston's.
Flip the table.
Flip the table. You know, like give it to
wild,
somebody else
yeah.
because we were finished eating, and it was just another bottle of wine, and then they were like, you know, they was basically trying to flip the table. I own 2 juice bars, so I know when it gets
Flip
crowded.
the table for people that don't know. We're
Yeah.
trying to get you out to get another customer.
To get
in.
another customer.
How were y'all there?
We finished our meal, enough to finish our meal.
Okay.
So we just had an extra, and so the lady was like, we're not going to order you another bottle. So we was like, all right, cool. Boom. And we stood there.
So you tried to buy another bottle. She said no.
Yeah. So they went and got the manager, and the manager took the actual bottle that was there and was like, yo, I comped it. I was like, I don't need you to comp nothing for me. You know what I mean? And she took it away. And this was the most racist thing I've ever. So that's being racist in itself, right? But I was privileged to call for the 911 call because she said I'm calling the police, and I pay taxes, bro. I'm legit for 27 years. This here fooled you, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? So she called the police. I stood there like a man that I am. The police came, and the police, one of the officers said, this is 2 bottles. Is there something else going on? Like, he must have thought that this was a secret, like something that, like maybe I was messing with her or something on the side. Because he's like, people don't do this. They don't call the police. He's like, in fact, the party don't even start to 3 bottles. And I'm like, I didn't even get to the 3. This is the police officer. So if I was belligerent or anything, do you know what happens when you call a police officer on a black man in America?
Right.
That woman tried to get me killed. She said, I'm in fear of my life. That's what she said.
Damn.
Like I went to therapy. Like I'm going to therapy right now for this. You know what I'm saying? Like yo,
It's traumatizing.
Yo, like what if these officers had a bad day and they came and they just I spoke very calm. I stood my ground, but I'm still like I'm traumatized from this. Like I got called the police on.
They could have came in there with guns out.
They,
just because. Yeah.
She said she said on the 911 call that she felt threatened for her life because I ordered a bottle. Like I wasn't partying, I wasn't on the table, I wasn't doing none of that. Like I was actually celebrating. Like, you know, I was just chilling. Like that's how I celebrate. And I'm traumatized. I don't even want to go in that area. Like I'll go all around. And like to tell you the truth, like I said, one of the black cops, it was 2 black cops that was there. So as I was describing it, the 2 black cops to the side, the head guy was a white guy, and the guy under him was a Spanish guy. But you just seen the 2 black brothers. As I was like saying it, you just see their head down, like, damn, you still got to go through it. You could make it to a level in life, and you still got to go through regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that it really, 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 really hurt me. It really put me in a. And I just got back to it. And again, I think, you know, me running to get my mind off of that. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, we just ran with Angela Simmons, and we didn't have a permit, and the police pulled over, and I was like, I damn near ran. Like I was like, holy shit! I forget, like, because it's just
You need a permit to run?
No, I mean to film.
Oh, to film.
To film, yeah. So yeah, but that was a horrible situation.
You know, I want to ask, you know, you've had success in 2 eras, right? You had the success in music, classic 90s rap,
90s,
and the
2000s.
podcast game. Which hustle taught you more about survival, the music industry or the media world?
Nah, reggaeton taught me more. Reggaeton was at the time when I entered reggaeton, I was asking artists for their publishing, like, you know, to like doing records with them and giving them publishing, and they didn't know what publishing was at that time. Now they're very smart, they're very up to date now. But back then I felt horrible, like seeing how they were conducting business and seeing like for instance, like Fabulous doesn't have to get along with Styles P, right? But if Fabulous and Styles P does a tour, Fabulous and Styles P will show up every single day. Styles would be on his side of the thing. I didn't see that in reggaeton. I'm not saying they don't do that now, but back then, N.O.R.E would not do a show with Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee wouldn't do a show with I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not saying the exact thing, but he wouldn't do a show with Winston and Yandel. I'm talking about back then. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just giving you an example of names. And when I was seeing that with reggaeton, it made me step up my hustle. It made me say that, damn, like these guys are certain people are ahead and certain people are light years away. Like I remember bringing Daddy Yankee to Dame Dash and saying, yo, this is the next dude. And Daddy Yankee wanted like $2 million at the time, and Dame Dash said, give him Rockaware. This shit, it hurt me. It hurt me. And this man became to be the most lucrative person on the planet. And then that genre of music turned into one of the most lucrative things. Yeah. And then that helped Afro beats and look, so on and so forth. Like I got the chance to see reggaeton. I got a chance to come to America and say, yo, this is the next genre of music. And people say, you're crazy, N.O.R.E. So when you ask me what the most hustle I did, the most hustle I've ever got was from reggaeton because I had to start all over. I had to start from the bottom of that to make it to a king.
Which one taught you more about survival?
Oh, reggaeton.
Reggaeton.
You got to realize Fat Joe is one of my closest friends. Fat Joe had an intervention with me.
Over what?
They wanted me not to do reggaeton. They were like, reggaeton is whack.
That's one of your biggest records.
Yes, he's like,
if not your biggest.
EFN had an intervention with me, told me reggaeton is whack. But now, in their respects, both of them has recently came up to me and was like, I'm sorry.
You was wrong.
They were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's cool. Like when you first to do something, you're always gonna look a little stupid. You know what I'm saying? So,
but also they're your brothers, so they wanted to give you their opinion. They were trying to protect you.
They
but if it's not happening at the time, like what was the forward thought to even make you want to be first in some of these arenas?
I like going in my lane because there's no traffic in my lane, right? Like I always knew that I said this on the show before. I always knew I ain't have the best work, but I know that I'm gonna stay out longer than anybody, right? So what I want to do is I want to go to a section where it's just my section, right? So when Mobb Deep was the thing and everyone was, you know, it was crack lines out the door to get a Havoc beat, you know, I wanted to work with a kid from Virginia that had a tight shirt on and a choker, and he wound up being a legend named Pharrell. But when I messed with Pharrell, people were like, why is his shirt so tight? People were telling me, is that eyeliner he got on? And I'm like, wow, y'all looking at this man's features and all this other stuff. The man is making beats. Him and Chad is knocking shit down. You know, I'm the Neptunes. I'm not just Pharrell. I'm the Neptunes. So people laughed at me when I did that. I like being the first, but I know that when I get there first, people will. I had the two-way first. It's online. Two-way. Yeah.
Putting Lil Wayne on your album.
I put Lil
Everybody
Wayne.
was putting Juvie.
He's still taking my music right to this day. Go ahead, Wayne.
Band from N.O.R.E. sampled that.
Band from N.O.R.E.
and Nicki. Yep.
Let's get into a record. Let's get into this record. Let me pull it up so I get the name of it. Well, you tell us the name of it, N.O.R.E.
Well, it's called Win Again because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna win again. And there's 2 features on there. I guess we'll figure it out.
And make sure you keep subscribing to Drink Champs. Yes. Make sure you support the Drink Champs Network.
Yes.
Myth Bleak Show. Yes. Angela Simmons Show coming soon.
Yes.
You know?
And Run Champs.
Run Champs.
Well, Healthy High. It's called Healthy High.
Healthy High.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. It's N.O.R.E.
Let's go.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.